Heard you a snitch, nigga be quiet cause you could get bitched. I keep a chopper, it's loaded. Hop with the rolls, got my name on the curtain. Fucking your thought and I do that for certain. And I stay clean like detergent. Popping on Xannies and popping on Perk. Burn up on me, you get cooked like a turkey. I just want this bitch inside of Billy. I'm open no roof, got stars up on the roof. So my freedom.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to What If Izuku Was Dr. Octopus. Let's get this shit on the road, shall we? Now, last time we ended off was pretty simple. Izuku getting infamy for basically kind of turning him, like Katsuki, and his like goons into kind of turning them into a joke. I'm not gonna lie to you. Katsuki, yeah, like he did wake up in the nurse's office. Basically, what the other two dudes said was, and I quote, "We were playing chicken on a rail, like the rail outside of school." So what ended up happening was Katsuki tried to use his explosions to kind of blow himself up and over the rail so he didn't land on his balls. He proceeded to land on his balls anyway. So, yeah, we're going home. And they just kind of left him because, I'm not gonna lie, Izuku put the fucking fear of God into people. Like, this is a interesting turn of events when it comes down to, hey, this kid fucking scary. So what ended up happening was pretty straightforward. People didn't fuck with him. Like, he did have some friends when it came to like the intelligence books, and they showed him the video, and Izuku notices, like, there's been this one dude just fucking eyeballing him after that day. Hey, like, scared of him more than most. Like, afraid that he's going to be found out about some shit. So, that day, I'm gonna say, like, this is, like, truly at the end of school. Like, true end of, like, the summer school period bullshit. Where they basically have, like, 2 months to train their asses off and then rest for the entrance exam. So what ended up happening was this. After that day, he just waited outside for him. And, he realized something. Fucker went out the back door somehow. So, what he did was pretty simple. Izuku, proceeded to track him down like a dog. He found out where he lived, which room belonged to him in that 2-story house, grabbed a rock with his tentacle, scratched something on that bitch, threw it into his window, and scattered to the fucking wind. Now, during that, he was in the shower. No one really seen him because he would have snuck out and did this when it was late. Aizawa basically kind of left him alone after a while, right? Because he's not doing this shit for vigilante work. He clearly is, like, interested in becoming, hey, I want to be licensed, so yeah. He's basically, like, kind of let him do his thing. there was one other incident with like, oh, he saved someone from being killed. And it's like, oh, okay. Like, and it was around like, what Aizawa knows to be is like, hey, I run around in this area. So Aizawa's like, yeah, I expect it. Like, Aizawa knows who it is. No one else does. So, yeah. What ended up happening was pretty straightforward. Aizawa just kind of like, he did give Izuku his number. And he said, was that you again? Izuku just texted him back, yee. And he's like, still going to UA, right? He's like, yee. You're gonna try and be in 1A? Yee. He's like, you better, because I'm gonna be your fucking teacher in that case. Hey, so, Izuku had to triple read that multiple times. Because in this, All Might is not his idol. It is Aizawa. Aizawa is kinda really okay with this kid. Like, oh. Like, this kid puts in legitimate effort. And he doesn't have a quirk. At least that's what he told me. I don't believe it worth an ass, but okay. So, what Izuku ended up doing was basically, after that kid basically who was there, like, he ended up going out with some friends, and almost, like, they're 15 still. They went to an arcade. He, like, walked away from his friends for a couple seconds, and, like, Izuku just kind of walked up behind him, was like, put his arm around and say, hey, buddy, just fucking arm around his neck, like, not choking him, but like, yeah, we've known each other for a while, right? Like, as soon as he sees Izuku, he shits himself. And he's like, nah, man, I want to ask you a question. Why you think you slick? Huh? You think you could get away with shit? Do you? Bitch, you think I don't know? It's like, and it's like, come on, fuck, say it. Before I make a scene. and Izuku, low-key, just makes like a little bit of noise behind him. With like, kind of shooting a spike out and back in. Like, it's not noticeable to anyone because it just makes the noise. And, this kid proceeds to shit himself. I was like, alright, look, I didn't mean to. Okay? I was there. It just happened. Okay? It was like, shh, it's okay. I came here to tell you that if you be on that bullshit again, and we end up at the same school, I'm gonna give you that Kotsky treatment. Do you understand me, bitch? So guess what? Heal. Before you catch this heal meal, boy. And he kind of looks confused and scared at the same time. Oh, you don't know what a heel meal is. It's when a man roundhouse kicks you in the mouth. And it's like, my bad, chief. I swear, won't do it again on my mama. And it's like, okay. You fucking better pray I don't find you doing this shit again, boy. Or that ass is mine. And he just walks off. Like nothing ever happened. Now, his friends didn't notice it because he was supposed to be going to the bathroom. He did. Afterwards. after he left and came back to his friends. He's not shaken, but he's gonna remember Izuku. But yeah, Izuku. It's time for him to go to the entrance exams. That's where the real fun shit starts. Izuku gets first place on the actual entrance exam test sheet. Katsuki would usually say some slick shit out the side of his neck, but wouldn't even let off explosions or either. So it's like, okay, I'm a not. Because Katsuki clearly remembers everything that happened. And so does his friends, and they remind him of that shit kind of daily to make sure he don't get hurt. Now, when it comes down to like the actual physical portion of the exam, Izuku did register his Ock arms, which he basically explained it as maneuver gear. And the doors they don't open yet. Izuku's going to go up front. Ida tries to be on that stupid shit. Because the first time Izuku didn't say anything because there was a lot of people. But now that Izuku's basically in a room with like at least 10 to 15 people and not like 150, he could be on his shit. So what happens is as follows. He's like, hey, hold up, and he grabs him by the shoulder. Now, as soon as the shoulder grab happens, Ida gets flipped, like gets his ankles grabbed, and basically Patrick start out like a starfish. Like he gets all of his limbs spread out, gets flipped upside down, and he's just face to face with Izuku. And he's like, I have a question for you, Mr. Tenya Ida. When the fuck in this world is it okay to touch people that don't even fucking know you? When? When the fuck is that okay? Clearly you have some intelligence, so I'm gonna say it for you. It isn't okay to touch people. Now, I don't know if you have slow mental faculties, or I should just throw you face first into the first robot I see. But I swear to God, if you put your fucking hands on me again, they will not find your body. Are we clear? And, he whispered this in Ida's ear. And, Ida fucking scared. Like, I don't know about you, but like, Ida ain't having it. Like, I was like, no, I don't. No matter how much pride I have, no, he has me by my balls. Like, and like, at any point, he realizes as he's up in the air, he could have had his arms and legs ripped off. He probably would have had his head ripped off too. Like, whatever the fuck Izuku's using kind of gives him the middle finger. Like, oh, you think you fast, huh? Like, nah, chief. You ain't worth shit. So, Izuku sets him back down, dusts him off, give him 2 hard slaps on the side of the face, say, don't touch people, and he walks off. Now, people seeing this, they didn't hear what he said. But, people move out the way. way for him in his arms because they are extended, they are under him, and they are walking for him. And Izuku's just waiting for this door to open. And last time I remember, the door raises up. And Izuku, reading up on the exam more thoroughly, kind of knows that, hey, you fucking move in this exam. You don't wait for someone to say go. And what he ended up doing was pretty simple. What Izuku ended up doing was putting all 8 of his tentacles underneath the door and kind of slingshotted himself out. Feet first immediately into a robot's chest. Destroying the bitch. That's an entrance. So, before the doors are even fully open, Izuku is out there getting points. Ida's like, is this allowed? And it's and there's nothing for a solid 10 seconds. I was like, oh, wait, no one else is moving. And Prison Mike's like, oh, wait, no one else is moving. Fuck y'all ain't moving for. And it's everyone kind of gets the message that, and they all just go. Now, by this point, Izuku has destroyed about 70 to 80 robots with his arms, his maneuver gear. Only using his close and mid-range functionality, which is the lasers. Not lasers, more like Tesla coil shots. He does start using the lasers when people actually start coming out. So he's like, oh, I have competition now. It's okay, time to get up on a building and start sniping people. And he gets up on the building. He proceeds to use all of his lasers, all of his arms to just start opening fire. All of them kind of, the arms pseudo have, a camera attached. Izuku does wear glasses. This Izuku kind of modified his to the point where he could, assistant targeting system. This man has VATS on cocaine, so, yeah. It's just kind of a wash for him. While Izuku is basically laying waste to most of the population of robots, I'm not even gonna fuck with you. Nezu and them are trying to figure out what the fuck his quirk is. Because Aizawa is there. And I'm gonna say, there's another person in there, and it's All Might, in his Small Might form. And those are the only people in that specific booth. And they're almost wait. Is that and he just kind of looks over at Aizawa, and he said, yes, that is the kid. Because in this one, All Might and Aizawa are more buddy-buddy. And Aizawa did tell All Might about this kid that he knew was coming that was apparently quirkless. And it's he looks on the sheet, and it's he's actually quirk. The fuck? It's they're just looking at the lasers coming out of seemingly these tentacles that he had to have made. They're looking back down. It was no intelligence. What the fuck? And it's just kind of, All Might's kind of awestruck and surprised because he is extremely well built. Other than the Doc Ock on the left part of the screen, he kind of chubby. But yeah, no. Izuku in this is Mirio, Mirio. level buff. And it's only gonna go up from here, ladies and gentlemen. Like, Jesus Christ. So, how do I say that? At this point, they have to drop the 0-pointer on Izuku, basically. Like, they're like, we have to give the other people a chance, so we don't have to run this shit again. So, they throw the 0-pointer and have it target Izuku mainly. Like, heavy set target Izuku. So what happens is pretty interesting. So, because like at this point, they're like, alright, this kid is his gear is just fucking wow. This kid belongs in the support course. And then they stop and think, he belongs in both. It's like both the hero and the support course. Aizawa's like, I agree with this, but like only to an extent. And he's like, yeah, I understand that, but like, it would benefit not only the gear that he pumps out for himself, which would basically be his powers. And it's like, alright, good point. It's like, yeah, told you. So let's get back to the 0-pointer, basically getting shot to shit. So, what happens is, the 0-pointer not giving a fuck about anything else. Nothing else. Uraka don't get crushed, like in canon, because of the amount of fucking, like, lasers that Izuku is basically shooting out of his ass. Like, it's just... It's not a competition, it's more like a game to Izuku. Like, when Izuku was out, Izuku actually had a sandwich in his hands and he was eating. They're like, yep, it's 11, but yeah, no. So what ended up happening was the mixture of, oh my fuck, that's a big one. Like, because he expected the 0-pointer to be big, he didn't expect this fucking big. He didn't expect, like, Mountain Lady big. Like, fuck. He did not expect this. And, seeing that, oh, it's coming for me. Oh, it's coming for me. And, he basically throws his, like, half-eaten, like, grilled cheese and ham sandwich back in his bag. Like, puts it back in the backpack that he was wearing. And he's like, fuck, okay then. Fight me, pussy. And, like, all of the arms are focus firing, like, damn near max output die. Like, this thing he knows that this isn't a human. So he does not worry about, oh, it's gonna kill it. No. And, to be honest, after, like, the barrage, because, like, I don't know what to tell you people. I told you this laser was able to, like, shoot through, like, 3 miles before, like, the light dissipated it. This is basically hard light shots on cocaine. Like, I don't know what you want to say, but this shit kind of fucking scary. So, after a volley, which, like, a volley is like 24 shots. Well, actually, it'll be 28 per every 2 seconds. And he was firing at the 0-pointer for like 2 minutes. Because, like, yeah, sure, it was moving. When he blew off the front right leg, it started using its arm in a building to, like, steady itself, to keep it moving at a little bit less of an optimal speed. Then he shot the other front leg. And then he was like, you know what? Fuck this thing. And then he just like slammed both of his hands together. The tentacles wrapped around it, almost connecting via the tips. And how do I say this in the most... You know Genos from One Punch Man? You know what happened to the fucking canyon that he was in when Saitama punched somebody? I mean, not punched someone, like punched the air in front of the face of Genos. Izuku landed in the middle of the street, braced himself on a light post, and fired. And he fired at a low enough velocity, well, not velocity, it would be potency of hard light, that it wouldn't have range. So he waited for this thing to basically be right on fucking top of him, like about to slam both hands down on him. And oh, something fell. That's bad. And Aizawa kind of, like, All Might was about to step in, all the way until the fuck you amount of green light just filled the arena. Right? It blinded damn near everyone. And just slag. I don't know what else to say. It's gone. It's some of the most terrifying shit anything, like, how the fuck do you compete with that? I want you to tell me with a straight face, hey, this guy slagged at a fucking, like, 40,000 ton robot. I could deal with him. I could handle it. I'm like, no the fuck you can't. You can't outpace light, motherfucker. I don't want to hear it. Because that's how fast these things be moving. His lasers. You know. It's like turning on a flashlight. I'm not kidding. It's turning on a flashlight in a very dark room. It's nigh instantaneous. And these lasers are basically like, fuck you, and it's gone. It's like melted metal, circuitry, and other things on the floor. That's what the zero pointer is. And the tentacles are still fine. I'm gonna sit down real quick. But like, the street underneath Izuku cracked. Like, there's an indentation where Izuku's back was on the metal street lamp, and like, the asphalt beneath the zero pointer is kind of like reliquefying into its liquid asphalt state, and just kind of, it's connected to the floor now, so it's, yeah, it's kind of, like, he did a significant portion of damage to, like, the road and under his feet. But since he was basically shooting straight up in the fucking air, the only thing that got damaged was the roof. Why, you might ask? Oh, well, it's simple. Last time I remember, the zero pointer did almost reach the roof in its height. So, I'm not gonna lie, Izuku overcompensated a little bit. Just an easy. And it kind of went through the roof. When the test is called, Aizawa basically texted Izuku and he says, congratulations, you can be in the support course and the hero course at the same time. You will be in my class. And that's all he says. So Izuku's fucking happy. He's like, nice. That's it. So he basically like uses his maneuver gear to go home. Now, at this point, the maneuver gear, like, it's not damaged. But after a blast like that, Izuku would like to do checkups because that was the first time that function was ever used. That was not tested. Meaning, he could have lost his actual arms because of, oh, I don't know, a .2 malfunction error. So he's happy his arms ain't gone, but fuck me. That's basically what Izuku is saying. Like, Jesus Christ. So, I'm not gonna lie to you. Izuku is allowed to come in early. Like, a week early. Like, when it comes to UA support course classes. Why? Well, it's simple. To explain the fucking maneuver gear to, the support course teacher. Who was he? The plow dude. I forgot his fucking name. He had something to do with construction. That's all I know. But, yeah, basically he explains how he made it. Well, not how he made it, but like the basics of, hey, do you know that you could build an infinite energy source out of air? Like, to him. And Nezu's basically in the same room because he wanted to hear, like, oh, what's powering this thing? And as soon as he says infinite energy out of fucking air, Nezu looks at him like he's handicapped. And he's like, well, are you just going to explain? Are you just going to say that and walk off? Like, what? Are you going to explain anything? Yeah, no, this is mine. I'm going to wait to patent the fuck out of this. And he just walks off. To, like, do his own thing. Which is basically, how do I say it? Upgrade the arms even more. How, you might ask? Oh, well, it's simple. He has much stronger material in as the actual metal now. So then he has it to a lot higher of a how do I say this in the most accurate way? Melting heat. So all Izuku did was basically take that, calcify it, take that metal, calcify that metal, and just make it fucking terrifying. Like, Izuku's shit, like, arms are nigh unbreakable at this point. And he did ask us, oh, hey, I heard a rumor, is All Might supposed to be here? And he's like, can I ask him for something? Like, it's nothing big, it'll only take like 2 seconds. And it's like, what? I want to see if he could break something. And he's like, break what? And, Izuku pulls out the calcified metal. I want to see if he could break this. And he's like, why? Because I want to know if I need to make it stronger or not, okay? And as I was looking at him like, I'm sorry, what? And he was like, I said, I need to know if I need to make the arms stronger. And he's just giving that innocent smile. And it's like, what the fuck? So, while that happens, Izuku's basically just chilling. He has everything he needs to do. He's good. He's cozy. We've come to 35 minutes. So, I'm at 44. Yeah.